Did you know that there's just one document that controls pretty much everything, from how steep your staircase can be to the safety of your windows? Yeah, and if you fail to follow these rules, your whole project fails inspection. End of story. So today, we are cracking open Approved Document K. Trust me, these are the non-negotiable rules you absolutely have to get right.
So what is this all-important document anyway? Let's dive in.
It's Approved Document K, and its purpose? Well, it's crystal clear. Protection from falling, collision, and impact. And make no mistake, this is not some list of nice-to-have suggestions. Oh no. This is the official playbook for meeting the legal requirements. So let's break down what that actually means for your project, and we'll start with one of the biggest trip-ups. All right, first up, stairs and ramps. This is all covered under Requirement K1, and it's all about making sure you can move safely between different levels of a building. Get this part wrong, and you're not just failing an inspection, you're creating a serious hazard. Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we need to be speaking the same language. So, two key terms you need to know: rise and going. The rise is simply the vertical height of a step. The going is its horizontal depth, where you put your foot. These two simple measurements are the absolute foundation of every single safe staircase.
And here it is, the secret sauce, the golden rule for stairs. 2 times the rise plus the going has to equal a number somewhere between 550 and 700 millimeters. Seriously, think of it as the golden ratio for stairs. It's not a guideline, it's a non-negotiable rule for both comfort and safety. Get this calculation wrong, and you fail. It is as simple as that.
Here's another number you have to burn into your brain: 42 degrees. That is the absolute maximum steepness, or pitch, for a private staircase. If you go 1 degree over, just one, it's an automatic fail. No arguments. This is the line in the sand, and it's there to prevent some really nasty accidents. And please, don't forget about headroom. We're talking 2 meters. That is the minimum clearance you must have over every single stair and landing. No exceptions. It's all about preventing people from getting serious head injuries. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, one last super simple but vital rule for stairs. If your staircase is 1 meter wide or more, you've got to have a handrail on both sides. Again, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, handrails are one thing, but what about the actual barriers that stop you from falling off the edge? Well, that brings us neatly to our next section: guarding. All right, let's talk about Requirement K2, protection from falling. This section is all about the barriers, what we call guarding, that keep people safe around any drop. Think edges, balconies, landings, anywhere there's a risk of a fall. And when it comes to guarding, height absolutely matters. So inside a home, the guarding on stairs and landings needs to be at least 900 millimeters high. But the second you step outside, say onto a balcony or a roof terrace, that minimum height jumps up to 1100 millimeters. It's all about that crucial extra bit of safety where the risk is higher. But what about kids? This is a huge one. In any building where children under 5 might be hanging around, there's a very specific, incredibly important test your guarding has to pass. So, how do you actually prove your railings are child-safe? Well, the answer all comes down to just one number: 100 millimeters. Seriously, if you remember only one thing from this entire section on child safety, please make it this measurement. So here is the definitive pass or fail test. You take a 100 millimeter sphere, which is roughly the size of a small child's head, and you try to pass it through any opening in that barrier. If that sphere can get through, your guarding fails. It's really that black and white. Now this brings us to a huge, and I mean huge, and very common design mistake. To comply with this 100 mil rule, you have got to avoid horizontal rails. Why? Well, think about it. They create a perfect little ladder for a small child to climb up. It completely defeats the entire purpose of the guarding in the first place. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about glass. Requirement K4 is all about protecting people from walking into or falling through glazing. Because let's be honest, a big pane of glass in the wrong spot can be incredibly dangerous. The regulations focus on what are called critical locations, and these are exactly what they sound like: high-risk zones, where people are most likely to accidentally bump into or fall against glass. We're talking about low-level panels and walls, any glass and doors, and those side panels you often see right next to them. So to make glazing safe in these zones, you've basically got 3 clear options. Option 1, use safety glass that's designed to break safely, into those tiny harmless little chunks. Option 2, use glass that's just so tough and robust it can resist the impact without breaking at all. Or option 3, you can simply shield the glass with some kind of permanent protective barrier. Now, for commercial or public buildings, there's an extra rule you need to know. To stop people from walking straight into a transparent glass wall or door, which happens, you have to make the glass apparent. You do this with something called manifestation. You've seen it, it's those frosted bands or company logos. And they have to be at 2 specific height levels to make sure they're visible to pretty much everyone. All right, we're nearly there. Let's quickly cover a couple of often overlooked areas. Vehicle barriers and powered doors. These fall under requirements K3 and K6. So here are the key takeaways in a nutshell. For car parks, any vehicle barriers must be strong enough to actually resist or deflect the impact of a car. Makes sense, right? For powered doors and gates, they absolutely have to have safety features to stop them from trapping somebody. And finally, for simple swing doors, they need to have vision panels so you can clearly see if anyone's on the other side before you push it open. So, why is all of this so critical? Why stick to the letter of this document? Well, it all comes down to a key phrase from the regulations themselves, a presumption of compliance. What that means is, if you follow this guidance, it's presumed you've met the legal requirements. This isn't just about best practice. It is your official roadmap to getting a project signed off as safe and, most importantly, legal. If you want more in-depth explainers just like this one on other specific building regulations topics, make sure you visit and subscribe to the Building Regulations Co-Pilot YouTube channel. We've got a lot more content coming. And of course, if you have any questions about building regs or you need some help on a specific project, you can always visit us at buildingregulationscopilot.com. And just before you go, I've got a question for you. Think about projects you've been on or seen. What's the most overlooked safety rule you've come across? I'd love to hear about it. Drop your answer in the comments below.